steam freight made its last stand on Virginia's Norfolk and Western. One man chronicled its disappearance. New York commercial photographer O. Winston Link loved trains and had worked on many industrial projects related to the railroads.
For years, I had been wanting to photograph railroads at night because it's never been done. And there's so much you can do with lighting at night that you can't do in the daytime. You can control the light and emphasize whatever you want to emphasize. At night, you have complete control regardless of the weather, regardless of raining and snowing or anything else. You have complete control of everything. Well, it was tough to do. What I realized was, and what I wanted to do was to show the life along the railroad and what the people were like, what the stores were like. The railroad went down the main street. My God, there's got to be stuff there that you don't see. You don't see in the daytime. Finally, they got to I was seeing headlines in magazines and newspapers that one railroad after another had lost steam, so I decided I had to do something. I was being forced into it, that there was no more waiting.
The Norfolk and Western was highly regarded for its steam. They were steadfastly dedicated to it, primarily because their main business was hauling coal. Locomotives built in the Norfolk and Western shops were among the finest and most technologically advanced in the world. Link started to photograph the Norfolk and Western at night, using massive banks of flashbulbs to stop the action. He often captured man and machine working together for the last time.
One night we had 3 trains coming through at this same location, all within a few minutes of each other. And the problems I had trying to get my bulbs changed, because for every picture sometimes there were 30 or 40 flash bulbs on each shot. But it was sure worth it, and the first picture was just right, excellent. Just one negative. The train was moving. You couldn't change films and change bulbs and do anything about it. You had to get it on the first shot.
Winston Link's astonishing photographs are among the most striking visual records in railroading. But many people don't realize he also made audio recordings, capturing the sounds of steam giants as they thundered through Virginia's mountains.
One of the favorite locations was on Blue Ridge. This is the crest of the grade from Roanoke over the mountains, down the other side of the mountains on the way to the coast. And there was a grade there that just was magnificent. They had most of the time 2 big engines on the head end, and it was just great for recording. And there was a house there that could plug into, or I made a deal with a woman to buy the electricity to run the recorder. Gave her $1 or something like that. It wasn't a bad deal for either one of us. And she thought I was stealing everything, and right in the middle of the recording, she'd pull the plug off the wall and leave me there with no current, right when the train was coming by. Several times she did that. And she went away for the weekend, and we brought in fuses, and she'd take the fuse out. So we put in our own fuses and take all the current we wanted on Saturdays and Sundays.
Like every other major railroad, the Norfolk and Western realized that dieselization was in their future too. They just resisted change longer than the others did.
They were definitely brokenhearted that they lost steam engines. Everybody I talked to loved them, and I talked to an awful lot of people.
No one paid Winston Link to document the Norfolk and Western. He did it on his own time, at his own expense, solely to save a small piece of a disappearing era. Many of his photographs sat in a vault for 30 years. Today, his original prints sell for thousands of dollars. The most famous one is called Drive-In. As the jet age raced in, the puffing iron horse took its final exit screen right. Some pictures are worth 1,000 words. Photographs like Winston Link's and parks like Steamtown preserve a vanished sliver of America. Ironically, many of the operating locomotives at Steamtown are Canadian. The United States Congress established Steamtown National Historic Site in 1986 to help preserve and interpret America's steam legacy. By that time in rail history, most of the available serviceable or economically salvageable steam locomotives in North America existed outside of the United States. King Steam disappeared from mainline railroading by 1960. But tucked away in mountain canyons and puffing through municipal parks, some type of steam locomotive has operated in America since 1829. Over 115 parks, museums, narrow gauge, and tourist railroads currently operate steam locomotives in the United States alone, and over a dozen more do in Canada.
The most endearing thing to me about a locomotive is it's alive. It is the most alive machine I've ever worked with. It has a personality, and every locomotive has a different personality. Its personality changes from minute to minute. It makes noises. It sounds like it's breathing and groaning and talking to you. And all the while, you got to listen to what it's saying, because if you don't, it's going to end up laughing at you and making a fool out of you. I say it with a smile, but everybody who's worked with locomotives, steam locomotives in particular, realizes you have good days and you have bad days, but it's all fun.
Something that I'm always aware of is how lucky I am to be able to run a steam locomotive. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would have an opportunity to run one of these fine locomotives. I just find myself extremely fortunate to be a small part of it.
At Steamtown, visitors tour historical exhibits, watch men and women service locomotives, ask questions, and many become wide-eyed as they take their first trip on a real steam train. To them, concepts like drawbar horsepower and boiler pressure don't matter. They're having fun and getting to relive a little history. Whether they realize it or not, they're experiencing firsthand the technology that allowed America to reach across a continent and become an industrial giant. Every technology is eventually replaced by a new and better one, but few have captured hearts and minds like steam locomotion. You need only ask the volunteers at Steamtown as they put away their engines for the night and prepare for the eager crowds who'll come to ride and marvel tomorrow.